In the headlines, family demands justice over murder of 14-year-old daughter. Traditional ruler of Mbutu Kingdom abducted. Intending pilgrims for Lesser Hajj furious over suspension of Nigeria flight banned by Saudi Arabia. And away from Nigeria, Amnesty International warns of war crimes in South Sudan. Hello and welcome to Trust News Update. I am Dashan Husseina Usman. Now the news in detail. Family and friends of a student of Premier Academy in Abuja, Karen Hapok Akpaga, took to the streets of Abuja to demand justice for their 14-year-old alleged to be killed. Mother of late Karen, Vivian Akpaga, while speaking to newsmen, demanded for justice over the death she described as a subject of controversy between the school management and the deceased's family. She also accused the police of slow efforts to unravel the case, alleging an attempt to cover up her daughter's murder.
So I actually turned back to go home because they said they would take care of her. But on my way home, she called through the school phone and told me, "You don't even know why I asked you to come and take me and you're going without me." And then her house mother now told me that I should disregard whatever the matron was telling me, that on Wednesday, the 16th of June, Karen could not even walk to school. She had to be supported by her friends. It's now been a very good journey because somehow information like her medical report and the autopsy report they refused to release to us, they released to the school. We reported all the school had been doing because the principal in one of his interviews even said that if they had known there was a condom in her, they would have removed it. Just justice and closure. Justice so that it doesn't happen to another Nigerian child.
Police in Kano have arrested 30-year-old suspect Abdullahi Sabo of the Ura local government area of Katsina State for possession of the stolen vehicle worth 8.5 million naira in Kano. The spokesperson of the Kano Police Command, DSP Abdullahi Kiawa, confirmed this in a statement. According to the statement, the police received a call from a resident of Bada quarters in Kano that she took her motor vehicle, a Honda Accord 2017 model, valued at 8.5 million naira to a car wash located at Maidile quarters, Kumboto local government area of Kano State, and on returning to pick the car, discovered that both vehicle and car attendants are nowhere to be found. Meanwhile, the suspect confessed to have stolen the vehicle at the said car wash with intent to sell it. At least 10 gunmen on Thursday morning kidnapped the traditional ruler of Mbutu Ancient Kingdom, Damian Nwagwe, in the Abombese local government area of Imo State. Police spokesperson in the state, Michael Abatam, confirmed the kidnap of the monarch, saying they barricaded his palace, shot indiscriminately until they whisked the monarch away. According to reports, the community is in panic since the kidnap of the king. The suspension of flights from Nigeria by the Saudi Arabian authorities on Wednesday has thrown tour operators, airlines, and other service providers into confusion, Daily Trust reports. Some of the operators in Kano, Abuja, and Lagos said they have started counting their losses because the abrupt ban came during the peak of the December and Umrah seasons. They said apart from booking flights and hotels for thousands of passengers traveling to Saudi Arabia, they also spent a lot of money procuring visas and completing logistics. Some prospective travelers also expressed dissatisfaction over the development, saying the ban has disrupted their plans and budgets. Reacting to the development, the Vice President North of the National Association of Nigeria Travel Agencies, Abdulrazak Ibrahim, said members of the association have started counting their losses just months after they resumed from the earlier ban. Trust TV correspondent in Kano, Idris Jibrin, reports that the suspension of flights from Nigeria by the Saudi authority has come as a devastating news for the tour operators and those with intention to visit the Holy Land.
Well, a few hours ago, the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia issued a circular suspending flight from Nigeria to the Kingdom owing to the outbreak of Omicron variant of the coronavirus. Now, here in Kano, the most affected victims are people going for leather hajj. Even though we understand that there is an airline that took off from Kano earlier today to the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, but generally people are affected, especially those that are going for leather hajj. A visit to the airport shows that even though there are no more passengers that are going from Kano to Saudi Arabia as of this afternoon, but there are people who have paid for leather hajj and they are supposed to leave within this range. Probably some are due to leave today, some are due to leave tomorrow. But the circular that was issued by the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia might have restricted, is going to restrict that particular movement from here to the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. I've spoke to some people off the record who told me that they have already paid their money for leather hajj, and some of them are supposed to leave today, some are supposed to leave tomorrow. Now with this new circular, they would have to wait until they see what is going to happen. Because even the circular just stated that no one will enter the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia unless maybe you have spent like 14 days in another country, or you have gone through quarantine of 14 days in your own home country before you even enter the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. So the situation here, most people are worried and they are disturbed that they cannot go and do their leather hajj operation from Kano here to the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia.
An intending pilgrim for Lesser Hajj, Abdullahi Danyaro, says flight suspension placed on Nigeria by Saudi Arabian Authority has curtailed his plans for visiting the Holy Land.
I got this information about an hour ago, and it's a very pathetic because it affects me in so many ways. As a Muslim, normally at the end of the year like this, if I have opportunity, I used to go to Saudi Arabia. This has been my tradition. I used to go there and thank God for the life and for the blessings, and also to pray for the incoming year. So normally it's a tradition to me. So as a tradition, I plan to go this year. Myself, my mother, my wife, and my stepmom, 4 of us have planned to leave on Wednesday, 15th of December. We've just gotten our visa about 3 days ago, and our ticket is intact using Qatar Air to go. So when I got this information, I really felt bad because I know it affected me. It will like break what I planned for myself to do it with God's will, just to create a barrier, but it's bad actually. But we have no alternative. It's a decision of the government. And once government puts a decision, you can't do it otherwise. You just have to stay and watch and pray that this suspension wouldn't last long, because I think it is not supposed to have come. Why? Because there's some measures which I know the federal government have taken. For you to be qualified to begin a visa, there are some conditions which an intended pilgrim must be immunized against COVID-19, and we all had our COVID-19 immunizations. So this ban shouldn't have come to place, because it will be effective to people that doesn't take the vaccine. But people like us and other intended pilgrims have taken the vaccine since about 8 months ago. So anyway, it's a government decision, but I pray it will not last long. These super countries we call British, UK, US, and others, they are big countries that every country is looking whatever they follow, whatever they do, other countries used to follow them. So that is a developed country like Nigeria. This Omicron COVID-19 didn't come from Nigeria, it emerged from South Africa. Why didn't the British government ban South Africa, but rather ban Nigeria? Besides, perhaps we have only 3 cases in Nigeria or 4 cases of this variant. So there's a conspiracy against it, but the government can handle it, I'm sure.
You're still watching Trust News Update. Coming up after the break. Decades of hosting leprosy patients. Do stay with us.
Get latest updates on current topical issues and breaking news by downloading the Trust TV mobile app on your Android devices. Go online, click Google Play Store, search Trust TV, install the app, and get doses of unfiltered information on happenings all over the world in your pocket. Trust TV, documenting the Nigerian story.
Welcome back. You're still watching News Update on Trust TV. Let's take a look at some of our top stories. Family and friends of a student of the Premier Academy in Abuja, Haren Hapok Apaga, took to the streets of Abuja to demand justice for their 14-year-old alleged to be killed. And at least 10 gunmen on Thursday morning kidnapped the traditional ruler of Mbutu Ancient Kingdom, Damien Nwagwe, in the Abombese local government area of Imo State. To other news, House of Representatives Committee on Public Accounts has set up a subcommittee to investigate the National Institute of Pharmaceutical Research and Development over the utilization of 2 billion COVID-19 intervention funds from the service-wide vote accounts given to the agency by the federal government. Chairman of the committee, Oluwole PDP Osun, announced the decision after a submission by the Acting Director of Finance and Accounts of the agency, Zerma Levis, before the committee on Wednesday on releases made to the agency through the service-wide votes of the federal government from 2013 to 2020. After his submission, the committee expressed dissatisfaction with the utilization of the 2 billion naira given to the agency as COVID-19 intervention from the service-wide votes. A member of the committee moved a motion calling for a thorough investigation into the funds expended by the agency. A new group, National Consultative Front, says it is forming a shadow government to provide alternative policy options for the incumbent administration. Addressing the news conference in Abuja, Nigeria's capital, the group, made up of politicians, technocrats and civil society members, described the move as a step towards rescuing the nation from governance failure. Trust TV's Shafi'u Suleiman reports.
The group says providing such alternative platform is imperative as the current government runs out of ideas to address the plethora of challenges bedeviling the nation.
We have a country and we have a people. And if we are talking about the future, especially 2023, the fundamental question is, if nothing is done to secure the confidence of Nigerians in the country, by 2023, will there be a country for us to contest election?
It is doable, it is possible with new faces and new ideas, and that is what we are bringing to the table.
Some members of the forum provide an insight on how they intend to actualize their dream of changing the narrative of acute governance deficit in the country.
It's not a case of sitting down and blaming the government. We will come with alternatives and recommendations and things they can do within the resources available to the government of the day.
This issue is how to build up an egalitarian, sustainable society for our children, because we cannot continue where we are going. And if we continue the way we are going, that means Nigeria will continue to progress in error.
As the need for alternative political platforms to bridge the gap between policymakers and the increasing expectations of the electorate deepens, the proliferation of political groupings is not unexpected. Shafiu Suleiman, Trust TV News, Abuja.
Chief Justice of Nigeria, Justice Tanko Muhammad, on Wednesday swore in 72 legal practitioners who were recently elevated to the rank of Senior Advocates of Nigeria. 10 out of the 72 new SANs were academic appointees, while 62 others were advocate appointees. The ceremony, which took place at the main courtroom of the Supreme Court in Abuja, marks the commencement of a new legal year for the Apex Court. Trust TV's Aisha Salihu reports.
During the new legal year ceremony, the Chief Justice of Nigeria, Justice Ibrahim Tanko Muhammad, delivered a State of the Nation's Judiciary Address, which highlighted the performance of the Supreme Court and, by extension, the Nigerian judiciary in the outgone 2020-2021 legal year. While administering the oath of office to the new SANs, the CJN admonished them to forge ahead with the right mindset and disposition to attain more impactful results. Also speaking at the ceremony, justices and judges of the Federation urged the judiciary to ensure safety and security of judicial officers from lowest to highest courts.
It's in this regard that I must remind your lordships that the judiciary in Nigeria today is confronted by a myriad of challenges which have resulted in loss of confidence in the justice sector on the part of the public. There is increasingly the widespread perception that the common man cannot get justice in our courts. While we, as the bar and the bench, will continue to confront and call out external elements who we perceive to be responsible for some of the shortcomings of the judiciary, we must of necessity also embark on a measure of introspection, some soul-searching of sorts, to determine if and how we may have unwittingly contributed to our current situation and explore corrective or remedial steps.
For the last few years, from 2016, the judiciary has been the whipping boy. It has been the object of ridicule and attack from the executive, particularly. You also recall how your brother businesses, how those were invaded, how their doors were broken on the pretext of executing fake warrant of arrest or search warrant. Again, it's happened again in 2021.
Out of the 159 legal practitioners that applied for the rank of Senior Advocate of Nigeria during the course of this year, 72 senior lawyers have emerged successful after the rigorous exercise and have been conferred with the title Senior Advocate of Nigeria. This inauguration heralds the new legal year for the Supreme Court of Nigeria. Aisha Salihu, Trust TV News, Abuja.
Yershanya community is just 1 kilometer away from the ancient city of Katsina, which served as a resettlement center for leprosy patients and survivors for about a century. Leprosy patients come to Babbar Ruga Hospital for medication and settle at Yershanya village during and after treatments. Trust TV's correspondent Abdullahi Ahmadi visits the center and files this report.
Yershanya village, which is just a stone throw from Babbar Ruga Hospital, has a population of over 5,000 people, mostly leprosy and VVF survivors.
Most of the people that are living in Yershanya, most of them they come from Niger Republic. Okay. So by the time the people come from Niger and live in Yershanya town, most of them they are lepers and collect medicine for Federal Fistula Center of Babbar. So they are taking a long time in this town, at least last 30 years back.
When Trust Television visited Yershanya community, the ward head, who is also a leprosy survivor, said there are over 1,000 lepers, some with minor complications, living in the village. Though there are over 5 new leprosy cases in the village, the patients are currently at the mercy of God, as the Babbarduga Hospital, which hitherto served as their destination, has since been converted. Leprosy patients and survivors here have to travel to Maradi in Niger Republic, which is about 65 kilometers from Katsina, for medication and other follow-ups. The hospital, which used to be our destination, has now been converted to a general hospital. We have to resort to a hospital in Maradi, Niger Republic. Dungas, in Niger Republic. I'm an amputee. I reside in Ershanya for over 50 years. One thing that is unique about Ershanya is that most of the inhabitants are either from the neighboring Zamfara, Sokoto, Kebbi, Kaduna, Kano and Jigawa states, or from Niger Republic. Though absence of hospital for leprosy patients and survivors top the list of their problems, Trust Television observed that inadequate clean water is another major constraint, as they depend largely on open wells and this pond for drinking and other domestic purposes. Similarly, inadequate drainages and sanitation remain another source of concern to the villagers. People of Ershanya, who are mostly farmers, engage in petty trades to complement their means of livelihood and to strike a balance between their existence and the harsh economic realities which forced most of their children out of school. They opined that their children have to cross Katsina-Batsari Road to attend Babbarduga Primary School, as a result of which they lost 5 children to road accidents. The Ershanya village, which is in Batagarawa local government area of Katsina State, requires urgent attention to cushion the hardship of the residents. In Katsina, Abdullahi Ismayamadi reporting for Trust Television.
Onion farming is booming in Kaltungo local government area of Gombe State. A group of dry season farmers who plant onions speak to Ibrahim Ismail on their successes in Dogon Rua village, Kaltungo local government area of Gombe State. The report.
This is how onion farmers put effort to nurture the plant as one of the most consumed food that brings fortune to farmers in Nigeria. Abdullahi Isa is a young farmer who has been in onion farming in the past 14 years.
Yanayin noma na albasa zaka sawo iri kamar a kasuwa. Zaka zo sai ka kwamai sai ka yafa. Idan ka yafa sai ka bashi ruwa, idan ya tsira sai ka dan samo taki haka sai ka watsa mai, idan ya dagu ya dan fara girma kadan sai ka cira, sai ka zo ka gyara wuri a gona sai ka dasa. Idan ka dasa shine zaka nemi rijiya na ruwa kamar bohol.
Abdullahi shared his successes and advised other young Nigerians to embrace farming for self-reliance.
Mun sayar kuma mun samu riba har ga Allah muna gode ma Ubangiji. Mun sai mashin, an sai mota dai haka dai ana lallabawa dai duka, kuma an gina gida, kuma an buga kwano. Duka dai sannan zaka sai abinci ka aje a gidanka saboda iyalanka. Wannan duka daga cikin riban noma ne na rani.
Other farmers also give account of their experiences in onion farming.
Ha samu alheri baki iya gurgudu. Sannan kuma gashi yanzu bana ina akai ma a halin yanzu. Tunda yanzu ne nake cikin kokarin aikin. Na dasa yanzu ne na fara noma ma ko mai ban ci ba akai. Na shekara 6 ina noma albasa, kuma na noma muna samun albarkatun noma. Nasarori an samu nasarori, an sai da albasa, an sai abubuwa da yawa masu albarka a cikin wannan karkar tamu. Don ka gare wannan hilin gaba ɗaya namu ne,
kuma muke noman shi yaran mu nake wannan aikin abinda an dai da mu rashin taki da ba mu samu a daga wajen gwamnati in ka da kuɗi ka sai in baka da kuɗi kuma sai dai ka abin yanzu ba za ka samu komai ba kenan.
These farmers believe that sky is not their limit but a starting point in onion production, especially with government support at all levels. From Gombe, Ibrahim Ismail for Trust TV.
Presidency has refuted reports that President Muhammadu Buhari ordered the sack of the management of the Abuja Electricity Distribution Company. The senior special assistant to the president on media and publicity, Garba Shehu, in a statement issued on Wednesday night, said the insinuation untrue as the management of the successor companies had reverted to the new owners since the privatization of the power sector in 2013. The presidency therefore reassured investors in the economy that President Buhari did not order the sack of the management of AEDC, neither did he intend to interfere in the running of the affairs of private business entities, and welcomed ongoing discussions with relevant stakeholders to resolve the issues surrounding the recent developments in the company. Finally, on the foreign scene, Amnesty International says a surge in clashes between rival armed groups aligned with government and opposition forces in South Sudan this year has killed dozens of civilians and unleashed unimaginable violence. In a new report on Thursday, the rights watchdog said fighters on all warring sides indiscriminately razed entire villages during an upsurge in fighting between June and October in western Equatoria State that also forced tens of thousands to flee. Amnesty said it documented potential war crimes and other violations committed by the fighting sides against members of the Azande and Balanda communities. Oil-rich South Sudan gained independence in June 2011 but has been engulfed in ethnic violence since December 2013 when forces loyal to President Salva Kiir started battling those loyal to his deputy, Riek Machar. With that, we've come to the end of Trust News Update. Don't forget to follow us across all our social media platforms. I am Dashan Husseina Usman. Thanks for watching.